Like that good Tennessee red clay back there, John. This valley's called Hanakoa, and this is where the warriors live, where the warriors train. This is where you would spend the night, and this is as far as I've ever made it. The time I had the permit, I made it here. It started pouring down rain during the night. Next morning, it was still going. I was like, nope, not doing it. I stayed here. Everybody else left, and I knew about the waterfall back here, so I hiked back here to this waterfall. Had it to myself for a day and a half, so definitely not complaining. It's kind of a special place for me, but bring that on both sides. I still want to do the whole trail though. That's an extra waterfall. That one only comes when we get rain, so must have rained really heavy up the stream last night. Hey, is everybody doing okay on the turns? Everybody's doing alright? Yeah?
Very good.
You're gonna get gold stars, you keep that up, yeah? Yeah, some little wind busts between here and that last ridge down there, and then it calms down. So, what about the movie South Pacific? Anybody remember seeing South Pacific?
Yeah.
Some do, some didn't. Yep. So that last ridge right there, John, that's the island of Bali High in the movie South Pacific. The way they filmed that section of Kauai just made it look like an island. Can you sing that song for us?
You wouldn't want me to.
I'm sure you got a good voice. So the last beach is KA Beach. That's where our road ends. Our road does not make a full circle around the island. It makes a C shape, and that's as far as it goes. It doesn't even go to that right now. It's all washed out, but you can see part of the trail down here in the green foliage. It's a much wider, safer section, so I'll make a turn, bring that around for Mr. Benny here in just a second. But that section of trail, you normally don't need a permit the first 2 miles due to the fact that it's a lot safer, but again, it's all closed. Back around for John and Mr. Benny, give everybody another view of the Napali Coast from this side. If you guys on the cruise, you're going to come back around this way this afternoon, so I'm always a little jealous of that. I've never seen a Napali from the boat. I get seasick in about 30 minutes, so you'd think being a pilot you'd be immune to that, but
I think you get the better view.
There's not a bad angle, man. Everybody, when you guys come around this way, definitely look along the side of the boat for some of the dolphins. I do. People talk about that a lot. There's a lot of dolphins out here, but and then sea turtles. I would assume you can see that from the cruise ship as well.
We had a sea turtle by the boat yesterday, and then dolphins the day before.
Really? I want to do the cruise. Everybody really brags on that. I don't think I'd have any trouble on the big boat like that. It's the smaller ones that get me. It was very apparent to me early in my life I need to be a pilot, not a pirate. Beautiful. Again, this is where our road normally ends, and we had some flooding, so it stops 9 miles before this right now. At the moment, they're telling us this is going to open up probably in October. I can tell you that there's no way. And if you know anything about Hawaii, especially Kauai, that's things do not move swift out here. So I'd say next spring at the earliest before we're going to be able to make it back up to that beach. This is all Hyena Town along the coast, and then you have Princeville straight ahead with the big white building on the point. That's the St. Regis. And so we're going to go right in between those. That's one of the things I love about Blue Hawaiian. They're adamant we never fly over a community or a house. here on Kauai. It's a quiet little island, so we want to make sure we do our best to keep it that way, and I appreciate that. I love helicopters, but I want to hear them on my days off as well. So. Now your cruise ship comes just the opposite way we're flying. It comes right around the island, and it comes around this way. You see the island protruding out in front of us, just to the right of that on the peninsula. That's Kilauea Lighthouse, which is our only other lighthouse on the island. And then if you want to stay on this side of the island at some point, if you come back to visit, this is Princeville. That's where most people stay. The big white building, that's the St. Regis. You want to try and get their presidential suite if it's vacant. It's only $8,900 a night. So don't forget about your buddy Brian. I want to come in and say hi. Okay. $8,900 a night. They said George Clooney stayed there for a month and a half when he was filming The Descendants. That's probably another reason we paid $20 for a bag of popcorn, but I'm not mad at him. I guess I'd do it too if I could. Yeah. Just go ahead.
So now, this is one of the first areas I've seen with houses all along the beach. There's many areas like that where people have their houses right on the beach.
Right on the beach, yeah. So you don't get a lot of that, but you do have it here in certain places. The thing to me, I still rent a house. I can't afford a house out here. So the thing to me, though, I'd worry about tsunamis and then the hurricanes as well. So this right up here, this is Honolulu Bay. You can see the pier right there. That river that came down through that flooded during that historic flooding we had a couple of months ago. 2 houses that were up on stilts, even 2 of those floated down the river and out to the ocean sank, so it just washed them completely out. And same way at this community over to the right, which is Wainiha. You can see the landslide right above it, and so several houses were lost there due to flooding and landslides. So even when you take those precautions, Mother Nature is rough out here. You have to be ready, and I can't imagine. It was the most rainfall ever recorded in the world in a 24-hour period, but still, there was no high winds or anything associated with that. Now, this beach we're going over the top of is called Lumahai, and John and Benny, if you guys saw South Pacific, though, this was Nurse's Beach. This is where she washed him right out of her hair right here. And you guys that didn't see that, I know that sounds really weird, but you may remember some of the commercials, shampoo commercials, gonna wash that man right out of my hair. Remember that? That's how I knew it. That was a play off of that movie. And all the flooded fields you see below us, that's normal. These are taro fields. All of our rain comes on this side of the island. Remember I was telling you how more lush and green everything is on this side. Hey, what about poi? Did anybody get a chance to try poi? Yeah, and you loved it, right? Ew. Yeah, only if you liked Elmer's glue when you're 5, right? That's what it tastes like. That comes from the root of the taro plant. So it's a big part of the Hawaiian diet. All the locals eat that just about daily. And, to us it tastes, like I said, Elmer's glue. It's just a weird, not much taste at all, but a weird texture. But the plant itself is not just a food source. It's a pretty sacred part of Hawaiian culture. You guys all seem like you have a lot of aloha I'd like to know about some more. Take a moment, 15 minutes, you can find it on the internet, read 2 stories. The first story is how the Polynesians first discovered that plant. It's a beautiful, beautiful story, probably my favorite. And then also read the story about what it means to them. Each part of that plant represents part of the family. You guys all here enjoying some family time. It'll kind of represent a little bit of that. So check those out. And I think you guys would really appreciate knowing about that. A couple of little bumps as we come back on this valley back here. You get this waterfall. It kind of comes and goes with the rainfall, but one of the tallest waterfalls in the state, and I'll bring it on both sides in the back. You can see it now coming down the mountain. This is Namalokama, which is 2,400 feet tall, so it's one of the tallest in the state of Hawaii. Also notice a lot of landslides back here. This came from that historic flooding that we had.